Hey guys, it's Primalism, and today I'm going to be making a video. But before I do, I'm going to clean my room, because if I have like a messy room, I can't focus, I can't do anything. So I'm going to show you my room. Look at this. Look at this mess. What am I doing with my life? Ever since I built the PC, everything has been out of control. And I'll show you guys the PC more in depth and open it up and show you guys what's inside. And more importantly, before I clean my room, I need to have some food, because I'm really hungry right now. All I've got is 3 eggs left. I need to go run to the grocery store. If you're wondering where my profile picture comes from, this was actually a picture that I've had ever since I was a little baby. My mom, she got this from like a mall. I just really like this picture. It just makes me feel good, and it's probably one of the best cat pictures that was ever taken of all time. I'm about to go to the grocery store. I'm going to show you guys how I set up my bike and how I kind of get ready to do that. So I apologize if it's kind of hard to hear me, but first thing that I do whenever I go to the store or ride my bike is I make sure the tire pressure is good. So I've got this cheap little tire pressure pump from Amazon. I should have got a better one. This is really a piece of crap. Back when I was a kid, the pumps that we used for bikes were like metal. They were like heavy duty. They were good. This is a piece of crap. Toolatin, if you see this on Amazon, run away. This is a piece of shit. Sorry. Get a nice metal one, a good one with one of the pressure things on it. I didn't do that because I'm dumb. I have one of these though. This is nice too. When I was a mechanic, this is what I used to check tire pressure. It's really accurate. These things are great. I like this. So yeah, I just kind of air up the tire pressure. My tires are supposed to be, they can go up to 75 psi max, but I'll do about, if I can get it up to like 65, I'm fine, because you don't have to go up to the max pressure. So I like to check the pressure first. It's probably going to be around 55, which is what it's usually at. And what do you know? I was 0.5 psi off. It goes down very quickly in a bike tire. So you have to do this every time you ride. There we go. And whenever it's about 55 psi, I memorize that I need to do about 30 pumps, and that gets it about 10 psi higher, which is ridiculous. That just goes to show you how inefficient this pump is. Yeah, I'll show you. That was about 30, right? There we go, about 68 or so, which is perfect. Then I'll do the next tire. Also, it's about time to lube the chain, so I'll probably clean the chain. You have to clean it every time you lube it, so I'll probably clean it and then lube it as well. But you want to make sure you do that a few hours before you ride. Otherwise, bad things can happen, I guess. That's what they say, but I don't know. To be honest, I don't think it probably actually makes any difference at all. Oh, there's my phone sticking out of my pocket. It feels really low, but it's at 56. So they literally go to the same pressure. It's just weird how much tire pressure these lose. There we go. Again, I'll do about 30 pumps. This wheel's in my way. 65. So I feel like as long as it's around this range, I'm happy. Now, I don't like to carry things on my back if I don't have to, you know, with a backpack. But whenever I get eggs, I'm going to take my backpack because I want to put the eggs in the backpack. But I can fit about 6 pounds of meat in here. 6 pounds of ground beef. Which I don't know if I'm not going to get 6 pounds of ground beef. I usually only get about 4 when I go to the store. So this is perfect most of the time. You're probably wondering, what is this? Well, this goes on the back of the rack here. You know, it makes it much more pleasurable riding with that as opposed to everything on your back. So these kind of like fold out, as you can see, so you can like store more stuff on the outside. I'll show you. You look up, you like roll it back up. You know, forms this compact kind of little bag. But you can do that to give it some more space. Oh shit. There we go. It's not the most luxurious, but it gets the job done. I think that what I want to do is actually change over to using kind of like a milk crate sort of thing on the back, or just like a, you know, a big crate. I think that would hold a lot more things. But, you know, this is nice. I like how compact that is. It's very clean and compact, and you don't have to worry about anything falling out. Anytime you want to fasten it, you have to go here, you know, like that. I like to get it real tight. Make sure it's like looped around a bunch of things here so it doesn't slip and slide off the back. A little tug. I want that to be nice and tight. Now, the Velcro, it does its job. It's not like it's not adequate for this. It is. But I would just prefer something more simple, like maybe something like clicked in, like it clicks down or something. That'd be much better. It's just kind of lame. I'm sure I could actually make something like that if I put my mind to it. There we go. It's all tangled. There we go. Yeah. And that's not going anywhere. You know, it's about as firm as it gets. It's super important if you're riding a bike. Everybody says, oh my god, it's so dangerous riding next to all these cars, blah blah blah, these death machines or whatever. If people literally can't help but see you, they're not going to hit you. So if you are obnoxiously bright, you're fine. I feel like people say that people are afraid to ride bikes versus riding a car. One, because it makes them uncomfortable. Because they don't want to be seen as like some weirdo who's riding a bike when everybody around you is driving a car, which, fuck that, that's lame. Second is because you've been brainwashed into thinking that everybody wants to run you over and kill you, which is not true. And they're just trying to get to work, go to their job, you know, like live their life. Also, you can ride on the sidewalk. In some places it's probably not legal, but I'm sure you can get away with it. Do you really think cops are going to care that much? In my state, it's legal to ride your bike on the sidewalk, so I'll ride it on the sidewalk whenever I can, so I don't have to worry. But yeah, high visibility is important. So I use this, and I also have a light on the bike as well. This is the light that I have. It's got a quick release function on it, so anytime I run into the store, I can just take it off and put it in my, you know, my stuff. But it's very bright. I don't want to like shine it right in your eyes, but you know, it's a pretty bright light. It has multiple modes, so I can go bright, kind of dimmer, and then flashing. The battery lasts forever. As a matter of fact, I think I need to change it out because I was using it to help me look at some things in my PC, and it wasn't doing great. I'm gonna change it out after my ride though because it's daylight, and you don't really need a flashing bright light in daylight. But if you're scared somebody's gonna hit you, keep that thing flashing. Have a light in the back that's flashing, wear reflective gear. Nobody is going to hit you, okay? Stop being so schizophrenic. Nobody is going to hit you, bro. Get a bike, save some money, get yourself a little bit of exercise in the process. It's great. And if you're wondering where the lights go, you'll mount this one just kind of like that. This is called a night rider. These are very good. I would highly recommend a battery-powered light because you don't want to have to be charging these things. You know, if you can carry extra batteries around with you, and if it ever gets dead, you just put a new battery in. And the next one, what I was doing was, before I had the rack, I would just have it tied right there, right, on the seat post or whatever. But because this is, you know, kind of like this, I was just strapping it on here, so it's just got this, you know, red pulsing light that people can see. But it actually fell off, so be careful about that, because I lost mine. Now I'm ready to go to the store, and because I can't really take you with me because I'm on a bike, I just kind of want to describe what it's kind of like to ride your bike to the store. Myself, personally, what it's like is, you know, I work from home, so I almost never leave my apartment. I'm always inside. So when I go out of there on the bike, it's just like it forces me to go out in nature. It forces me to like be out there, and just that, I don't know, that feeling of riding a bike, going down a hill, using your legs, like pedaling, like it's a really nice feeling, and it's very like therapeutic and kind of thrilling. It's fun. So this is what it looks like when you bring all your groceries home from, you know, a bike. So I got my 4 pounds of ground beef. I feel like this is, you know, basically, if I eat any more than this, it's going to start going bad in the package beforehand. I also got 2 dozen eggs, which were in my backpack, which I put in my room. I need to go get those, actually. And then I have, you know, I wanted a little bit of flavor, you know, and I try to think about, like, what things can I tolerate decently. So I got a little bit of this kimchi. I think I messed up and got the spicy one. Oh, I'm kind of screwed. I think they're all spicy, actually, so I don't know why it says spicy on it. And then over here on this one, I wanted a little flavor. So I got a little bit of cherry tomatoes, which are in this bag here. I don't know why. Just some cherry tomatoes, not organic or anything. And I also have some avocados in the fridge already, so it's going to be pretty tasty. So this is my meal all put together. We got a ½ pound of ground beef, 80/20, just regular conventional ground chuck from the grocery store. And then I've also got half of an avocado, 5 cherry tomatoes, some of this spicy kimchi, and 2 raw eggs. I'm a bit broken out right now because I was eating a lot of pasteurized cheese because I thought I was invincible. But it ended up catching up to me, as you can see. But it is what it is. Like, I want to eat foods that are tasty, but like within reason. You know, I don't want to just like go into a full-out pizza face mode. So, although the pasteurized cheese was good, you know, it's very tasty, very delicious. Smoked Gouda, man, it's delicious. It just breaks me out too much, and it's like, it's just like, I'm not gonna do it. But I do feel like I still am eating the foods that I want to eat. You know, I can't think of any other like kinds of foods that I'd want to get when I go to the grocery store. So here we go. Here's a spoonful of ground beef and kimchi. I'm trying to eat this avocado too, but it's kind of hard. It's so good, man. Don't get me wrong, like, if you're eating from the grocery store, you can definitely just eat like really plain foods. And you can just do ground beef and eggs. But it's just so nice to have flavor. Like, it makes such a big difference. Even just like a little bit of seasoning on your raw meat. It goes so hard, as opposed to just eating it plain. And why not? Like, make it taste better if you can. I've had people asking me what my PC looks like what I went with and stuff like that. So I've been dealing with what I called the raw meat PC for a while now. He's over there in the corner, the corner of shame, just being a little shameful computer. You know, it lasted for a while. It's very, very old. It could barely run the games I wanted to play. The last one that it could play was, you know, Dark Souls Remastered. After that, it was like, nope, I couldn't. So, also for my job, I had to get a new computer as well because I needed to get Windows 11 because I can't be running with Windows 10 anymore. So, this is what I got. It's a Cooler Master case. Very basic. It came with the 3 fans that go in the front. And, yeah, I'll just kind of tell you a little bit about it. Now, it was very easy for me to build because I just used a PC parts picker guide. Not gonna lie. I was just like, you know what, I could spend hours and hours trying to make the perfect computer, or I could just use a guide. So that's what I did. Here are some of the parts. So we have the CPU is an AMD Ryzen 5. I don't know what it is specifically. Here we go. So it's the AMD Ryzen 5 7600X. So I think that's pretty good with Radeon graphics. I think AM5 is going to be future-proof for a little while, so that's why I went with that. Well, I say I went with that. You know, I just looked at a guide and I was like, yeah, that's pretty good. I'll do that. Now, to cool it, I've got this Peerless Assassin 120 SE. I don't know what that means. ARGB. So, I mean, this is technically supposed to be an RGB lit computer. Right now it's off. But I'll tell you a little bit about that. It's kind of a funny story. So there's the CPU cooler. That's that big thing right on top of the CPU. You'll never see that CPU behind that cooler. It's so huge with 2 fans on it. For the motherboard, I went with the ASRock B650M HDV M.2. Again, numbers that I don't quite fully understand, but I think the B650 is pretty solid. You know, this is gonna, help me have a build that I can like maybe keep on upgrading for a little bit. I don't really know, but it's pretty good. You know, it takes DDR5, so that's pretty cool. There's that. And then lastly, the most important part, my graphics card, which as you could tell takes up almost the entire PC, from side to side. I went with the Power Color AMD Radeon RX 7800 XT. This thing, man, like, I cannot believe how powerful computers are. 16 gigabytes of VRAM. So this is awesome. I think the only, what I've researched this, the only place that it really lacks is with things like ray tracing, which, dude, I can live without ray tracing. Are you kidding me? But yeah, this has been a solid build so far for the things that I use it for. Now, funny story about the RGB. The computer was supposed to be RGB. This is a guide, so I just figured like everything would work out perfectly. While putting this together, I learned the difference between the 3 and 4 pin headers. So in a motherboard, if it's compatible with RGB from the factory, of course you can do it other ways. But if it's compatible with RGB, it's going to have 3 pin headers. So it'll have 1, 2, skip 1, and then have 1 here for the pins. I learned that my motherboard actually didn't have any of those RGB headers. So if I want any of the RGB to work, I'm going to have to get what they call an RGB controller, install that, and then all the RGB will work. But that's annoying. There was also another thing. I also learned that a 3-pin connector, if it's like a female, okay, say it's like a fan, right? I had a fan that had a 3-pin female connector on it. You can actually plug that into a 4-pin header, which is interesting. You just have to go to the left side of it and then turn it the right way. It only goes on one way, and it actually works. So that was surprising. So I learned some new things while building this PC, and you'd think that if the people who made this guide on PC Parts Picker, like, I didn't research any of the parts. I didn't research anything really before I bought it. You'd think that they would have gotten a motherboard that would be capable of handling RGB, but I guess not. Like they give you all these RGB parts, but it doesn't. There's no RGB headers for the motherboard. What is this? So that was surprising. I was like, okay, well, at least there's a way around it, I took the front glass panel off so you could see it a little bit better. Cable management, non-existent, but who cares? Man, these PCIe connectors, so in these modern graphics cards, you have to use 2 separate cables to be able to, efficiently run your graphics card. So I have 2 PCIe cables plugged in, and man, they barely fit inside of this case. They barely do. I couldn't get them to go the other way, like have them come, down from the top. and go in, which would look way more aesthetic because it has like a light bar across it. I couldn't do that because it was just too tight. This was the only way that I could get it to really work. So I think I'm going to look for some cable management solutions, maybe get like new cables, you know, and rehook everything up. But yeah, as you can see, I think it's so comical how this graphics card takes up almost the entire width of the PC. One more story about the computer. So I put everything together, I finished installing everything, and then, you know, it's time to turn it on, which is like the most nerve-wracking thing if you've never built a computer before. So I hit the power button on the power supply. It's like a little switch, and the PC wouldn't turn on. And I was like, oh my God, what could possibly be wrong here? Eventually I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna have to take it apart. I'm gonna have to check all of the connectors, make sure everything looks good. Well, halfway through tearing everything apart again, which it doesn't take that long. It's so easy to put this together. It's like Legos. But halfway through tearing it apart, I was like, wait a second. I didn't press the power button on the case. I pressed the power button on the power supply, but not the power button on the case. Everything probably would have worked perfectly how I had it, but I didn't press the actual power button to turn on the computer. So just pro tip, if you're gonna build a computer, the power supply power button does not turn it on. Press the power button on the case. Also, I should probably show you this. There we go. That's so cool. I thought these lights would be silly, but like, honestly, I think it looks good without the RGB and just this one red, like menacing light right in the middle. It's pretty nuts.